Hello and welcome to the House of Wellness. I'm Luke Darcy, and it is always a great pleasure to be with Joe Stanley, Jacqui, Felgate and Dr. Nick Carr. Nick, in what is a very important week for us men.
Yeah, it's Men's Health Week, Darcy, which is a fantastic annual initiative looking at the health of men and boys. And it's so important because on average, we men live 4 years less than you women. Yeah, so in so many ways, our health is lagging.
And it's really important because I think a lot of men aren't great at seeing the doctor or looking after their general health. I know when I look at my husband, it's very worrying and also quite frustrating.
Michael's actually gotten better as he's gotten older, and I think that's why it's great this year we are focusing on men's health checks. And those health checks include, Dr. Nick, I think I'm right here, it's the skin, it's the heart, it's the bowel and the prostate. Is there anything I've missed?
Yeah, no, that's really good, Jack, but mental health is also right up there because so many men who are struggling or in crisis, they just still don't feel confident coming forward asking for help. That's something I'd love to see change.
Oh, absolutely, because when you think about it, if you're struggling to lift some boxes or change a tyre, you'd ask for help and your mates wouldn't think twice about coming to help you, right? But for some reason, men don't look after their mental and physical health in the same way.
So, Joe, on that note, today we're going to investigate how men can connect better socially.
We also meet the young mates who are bringing breathwork to the masses.
And I sit down for a cup of tea and a chat with the international king of tea.
Plus the Xtreme Hip-Hop class that's guaranteed to get your heart pumping.
We're also going to take a look at yoga and the devotees that love it. Of course, it's good for your mental and physical health. It also improves your flexibility and your strength. And it's also a great de-stressor, apparently. So maybe I need to do it.
They say it's also great for heart health. And in a world first now, a cardiologist and a musician are joining forces to investigate whether yoga could in fact be the key to fighting a common heart condition.
We'll bring the palms together at the heart centre. Let the crown of the head lengthen. I actually just want to know if yoga does anything at all. You know, I mean, I see what it does in my life. I see what it does in the people that I work with and my students. And with this whole yoga movement and the breathing and connecting the body, connecting the mind, connecting the spirit, that has to have some sort of quantifiable benefit. And I want to see that. So I'm going into this study with probably more curiosity than anyone else.
So atrial fibrillation is a chaotic electrical rhythm which classically comes from the veins at the back of the upper left chamber. And because all the little heart cells are linked together, you can have one rogue focus in one of these veins and it can cause the whole heart to beat erratically and irregularly. So people classically might get short of breath or fatigued or be aware of that racing sensation to their heart. But it actually doesn't have anything to do with having a heart attack or dropping dead, so we often reassure people about those aspects. But importantly, it is associated with stroke and heart failure, so there are some very serious aspects to the condition as well.
When I was younger, I played in a lot of bands and we ended up signing a record deal and moving to Hollywood and doing the whole Hollywood lifestyle. I lived there for 6 years and the last thing on my mind was going anywhere near a yoga class. I went to this one yoga class in the middle of Hollywood and I had goosebumps all over my body. It was a Kundalini yoga class. There was this guy that walked in with a turban, this big beard, and as soon as we finished the class, I was immediately hooked.
My background in treating atrial fibrillation goes back to nearly 2005. And from around that time, this procedure's evolved where we put little wires up through the leg into the heart and then deliver these little burns around the openings of these veins to stop the fibrillation from triggering. You know, it's not without complications. It's obviously invasive. So if there's another tool outside of pills or procedures that we can offer people, then I think that's tremendous.
The idea is to really feel the heart lengthen forward, maybe even lifting the chin. I remember with Peter, his wife brought him to a yoga class, and his first yoga class, at the end he was on the mat. His mat was drenched in sweat, and he just looked at me and said, "What was that?" And so since that day, we started chatting about yoga. He obviously found out what he does, and we've been talking ever since then. And Peter came to me and said, "Hey, I'm doing this yoga study with AF and the heart and blood pressure and whatnot." He's like, "Do you want to be involved?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's do it." Our arms reach forward, up and back as we inhale. Twist.
We've been very interested in behavioural or lifestyle interventions in managing atrial fibrillation for nearly 10 years. We did a lot of work looking at the effects of alcohol and coffee, and now we're thinking about different ways of exercise, and specifically yoga, which not only incorporates exercise but incorporates mindfulness, flexibility, balance and breathing. So we thought by looking at yoga and its potential impact through those channels that it might give us some novel insights into how to manage atrial fibrillation.
In yoga, there is definitely positions that target certain areas of the body. You can even do things to target blood pressure or to target lower back pain, target kidneys. So with what we're doing with Peter, I'm hoping to really design these shapes in these yoga classes to target the heart and really get in there and see what this little yoga thing can do.
There have been some small trials, but nothing like the size of this and the detail of this study. So this is very much a world first in putting yoga to the test in terms of its potential effects on the heart, not only with respect to atrial fibrillation, but some of the other effects like blood pressure and heart rate. Now, people will be having a lot of testing done over that time, including imaging of their heart with echo, also the VO2 max testing. We're measuring their blood pressure and heart rate and quality of life, and measurements of anxiety and depression, just to get a global look at the impact of yoga on the heart.
You can hold the pedals if you want to.
Part of the study is that the participants do 3 yoga classes a week, which is all funded by the study, which is incredible. So people that want to try yoga and they've got AF, they don't even have to pay for it. It just comes straight to class. Before they know it, they'll be doing handstands.
If you're interested in participating in the study, head to Yoga AF Study at the Baker Institute's website. All right, this next story has you all over it, Jack. Recently, the CEO and founder of Dilmah Tea was in town, and I was lucky enough to get the perfect brew from the master himself.
So here I'm making a breakfast tea. The smaller the leaf, the stronger the tea. So
Is that right?
Absolutely. Lots of people think that leaf size is related to quality. Actually, it's not. Whenever you add anything to tea, you need to make sure that there's balance. So when you're adding the milk, make sure the tea is a little stronger than usual. Even with honey, you have beautiful honeys in Australia. Use a light honey.
So if we're wanting a sweetener, you would recommend honey, not sugar?
Absolutely, no sugar. No, in fact, even if you were to take a mandarin or an orange, score the peel and just put it in there, you have natural sweetener. So keep it natural. Tea is plant-based, it's natural, and it's full of goodness. So don't compromise that.
Oh, that's delightful.
Wonderful, I'm glad you like it.
You are an expert.
Perfectly brewed, it's good tea. All I have to do is brew it for you.
Dilhan, why is tea so good for us?
Well, the natural plant antioxidants in tea are responsible, so science tells us, for protecting the human body from heart disease, from stroke, from stress, from diabetes, type 2 diabetes, a host of wellness benefits, particularly mood enhancing, enhancing cognitive ability, and that's from L-theanine, which is an amino acid that is uniquely present in tea.
So what is a healthy amount of cups of tea in a day?
Well, the FDA tells us 5 cups of tea is safe to consume. I drink 15.
15?
There are people in the Nile Delta region of Egypt, they drink 20, so I'm not up there yet. I'm putting 2 teaspoonfuls in there, and instead of the water, I've got some of this Melbourne gin. I love the fact that tea combines so beautifully with different types of food and, well, dare I say it, even spirits. So there's occasionally a little bit of gin that finds its way into my teacup. But, you know, with food, you have something rich, like you might have a beautiful meal, and in Sri Lanka we have quite rich food. We have rice and lots of curries and usually cooked in coconut and so on. At the end of that, when you have a nice cup of tea, you can wash away a lot of the fats. That's the emulsifying aspect of tea. But also at the end of a beautiful dessert, and Sri Lankans, we are very partial to sweet things, then you have the possibility of balancing the sweetness on your palate. There's a tea for when you're feeling down. When it's cold, there's a tea for when it's bright and nice. So there's a tea for every mood and every occasion.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's always gin o'clock, isn't it?
It is. It is. Gin and tea o'clock all the time too,
All the
particularly.
It's delicious.
Isn't it fantastic?
You can taste the flavour of the tea blended beautifully with the gin.
Respecting the ingredients means use ingredients in harmony. And that's what we did. Tea mixology.
Nothing beats the perfect cup of tea. Coming up, prepare to be uplifted by a group of guys kicking goals in men's mental health. And it's back to the 80s with a step class guaranteed to burn a ton of calories. We're back after this.
Nick, got some good news for public transport users. Automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, have been installed in all staff train stations across the Melbourne network.
Yeah, now this is great news, Das, because these devices have been shown to be life-saving for people who have a heart attack in public. And ambulance data show a combination of a defibrillator and effective CPR can increase your chance of surviving a heart attack by up to 70%.
Made famous when Kerry Packer had a heart attack on a golf course, and they installed them in every hole across the network and ambulances across New South Wales. Hey, we're focusing on men's health today, Nick, and heart disease causes more death in Australian men than any other illness.
Yeah, important point, Das, because we not only suffer from more types of heart disease, but as we get older, we're more prone to heart disease. So anything to reduce the risks has to be good. So reducing weight, exercise, vital.
Meditation and breathing has been enormous for me, Nick, over a long period of time, and more people are dialing into it, including this group of old schoolmates who are determined to bring meditation and breath work to the masses.
We're going to start with a really simple down-regulating breath work, one that you're going to be able to use in your own time to really down-regulate your system and move towards feelings of peace, of calm.
Every Saturday morning on Melbourne's Elwood Beach, James Hartson and Fisher McCasey lead a very chilled group of people to take in the sea breeze and simply breathe.
You're going to take 2 inhales. So the first inhale will be to a comfortable level. The second inhale will be fully in and then out, nice and slow through the mouth.
If someone's watching this now and they've never heard of breathwork, but they're a little bit curious, why should they try it?
When we think about mental health, we think a lot about changing our thoughts, but actually with things like breathwork, you can change the physiology first, and then once you're feeling better with your physiology, so whether it's a decreased heart rate, decreased stress hormones in the blood, then you just naturally start to think a little bit better and feel a bit better.
Fisher played AFL with the Adelaide Crows, and James travelled the world on the international tennis circuit. Both put their sporting success down to breathwork.
Yeah, for me personally, through tennis, I was always a bit of a hothead on the court. It's very difficult to think about how you're going to beat your opponent when you're up in your head throwing rackets and all that. So just being able to sort of shift my body into a calmer state made me think more logically. I was probably better able to figure out my opponent and win a few more matches from it. With footy as well, there's a lot of performance anxiety that comes with it and stress, and I sort of needed something to deal with that. Started off with a bit of meditation, and that was pretty good, but I found breath work was sort of took it to the next level and it enabled me to really decrease my stress and sort of perform better on game day as well.
Managing their mindsets while playing sport and in life gave them a greater appreciation of community. So their beach workshop is as much about connecting as it is about breath.
I Then a big part of our session is connection. So that's where we're going to pair people up, groups of 2, 3, and we just guide conversations.
We've had some really great connections made, friendships that have been sort of founded by coming to these sessions and people meeting each other. So that's, I guess, probably the most rewarding part of what we do, seeing these friendships flourish just from this community that we've created.
Building those connections now extends beyond the sand, with high school programs designed to help kids reduce stress and anxiety.
Young people, because we know there's some mental health issues with young people today, to give them these practical tools that they can use. As I said before, a lot of the mental health talk is a lot about the mindset, so giving them these tools to change their physiology is really important as well.
Hopefully through sharing our personal stories, Fish with his footy, myself with tennis, just being able to connect with them and sort of get across that message that we were in their position not too long ago.
Taking your last few breaths of this technique, maybe seeing if you can take the least amount of breaths in this last 1 to 2 minutes.
I'm a big fan of what the guys are doing here, so I did take it into my work. I work at a special high school, and after the program was run, we saw the students use it in their own time, and when things would get a little heated between them, we'd see some students remove themselves and practice the breath work.
I like to play music, and I get stressed during those situations when I'm up performing, but I feel like doing the breath work really allows me just to stay calm during that.
Yeah, straight away I was greeted with a hug, and I've made connections with people already, so yeah, I would definitely say to somebody if they're a little bit anxious about coming out in social situations because they're not sure whether they're going to meet people, then it's definitely a welcoming community already.
So that ends the formalities of today. Thank you again so much for coming down.
But after all that breathing and making new friends, there's just one more thing that'll seal the deal.
That class was awesome, but I think the bit that I was really waiting to do was definitely the plunge, so I'm getting in.
The Uplift community, Jack, is all about bringing people together and connection. And I don't know about you, I've always found that looking after your health is so much easier when you've got a team or a support crew around you.
You're so right. Exercise is so much better when it's fun. Have you heard about the popularity of run clubs?
They're massive at the moment. I always used to associate run clubs with like elite runners or marathon preparation, but the 2024 version is much more inclusive.
You're so right. So the hashtag Run Club is trending online. It's like a great way to make new friends and meet people. And maybe like afterwards you have a little coffee date or a pastry. How good's that?
All about connection and getting people together, Jack, which I love these days. And the Chemist Warehouse Run Club is some sort of cult. Everyone is being part of it. Is Mario Toscani hit
he loves it.
He's the champion of that.
He's super quick too. Well, it's all about feeling supported, isn't it, Das? And someone who knows all about being supported while striving to be her best is Aussie athlete Amelia Search. She unfortunately didn't make it to Paris in track and field, but she is preparing for the upcoming World Championships in August, and she spoke to Abby Holmes at the National Championships in Adelaide.
Amelia Search in the old black now enters into the home straight out, wider than that.
Second year seniors, first time podium. How do you feel?
Oh, it's pretty nerve-wracking being out with the big girls, but I gave it my biggest crack, and to finish on the podium is really exciting to know that I was the youngest in the field, so hopefully we can keep pushing on and on for the years to come.
Now, for everybody who might not know, just talk us through what a heptathlon involves.
So a heptathlon is 7 events. It's 4 on the first day and 3 on the second day. It's always the same order, so it goes hurdles, high jump, shot put 200, and long jump javelin 800 on the second day.
Amelia Search up and over at 175.
So run us through your journey. You've tried a number of different sports. Touch footy was in there as well, swimming, gymnastics, but ultimately going to athletics.
Yeah, so as a kid I was pretty sporty, got into sort of everything. It wasn't until I was about 14 when I had my first major injury, which was an overloading stress fracture, and that's essentially from doing too many sports. So we sort of took a step back. I think we nailed it down to 2 sports, so that was athletics and touch footy because they were the ones that I loved the most. And then eventually my coach said, I think you have lots of potential in the track. I think that you should give up touch footy and actually go for it.
What do you specialise in across the heptathlon? Because as you said, there are a number of different pet events.
Yeah. So definitely hurdles and long jump. I went to the World Under 20 Championships in Colombia 2 years ago for the hurdles and the long jump. I finished up 4th in the world in the long jump, which was really exciting to do that. So yeah, hurdles and long jump definitely my favourites, but I'm still learning to love all the other events because I need to in the heptathlon.
It's pretty cool to be training under an Olympic gold medalist, 84.
Yes.
It's at LA, Glenys Nunn. Talk to us about the relationship that you have with your coach.
It's super inspiring every day. She's like my mum, she's my hero. She's got a heart of gold and she's got the gold medals to prove it. So we have a really good relationship. We work super well together and we've been able to really take me from not really knowing much about the sport to now finishing on podiums at the Olympic trials. So yeah, she's been such an inspiration, and just to know that she's been there and done that and she can coach me to hopefully go there and do that as well is really exciting.
How do you go about your training for the different events? I mean, there are some that you know are your strengths, but others that you might need to continue to develop.
Yeah, so training this year hasn't changed too much. I'm still training 6 days a week and 4 of those days are twice a day. Training doesn't really change week to week just because like one event's weaker, because we have the mindset of if an event isn't going well, you still need to move on and still move forward and be resilient and move on to the next event. So say example is shot put's a bit weak for me at the moment. So 2 of those sessions a week, one will be really focusing on technical skills and drills, and then the other day will be trying to put them into practice in sort of like a competition environment. But in saying that, if one of those sessions doesn't go to plan, we still move on, and because in a heptathlon you can't dwell on anything negative, so you just have to keep moving forward.
Hold on, the decathletes are on the infield, they're clapping along, they're the only ones who can really empathise with what this must feel like. But
You are only 20, you're already looking forward to, you know, LA and Brisbane, the home Olympics, but is it all about ticking little boxes and milestones along the way to ensure that you do have that longevity in the sport?
Definitely. It's all about not peaking too soon, still loving the sport, still having fun, but still, you know, making those little improvements in the areas that I need to. My coach hasn't really pushed me as much as she's going to. That's what she's sort of insinuated. So it'll be exciting to when I actually can sort of start to try to be at the top, really. So I haven't even hit my peak yet.
Cameron Newton-Smith comes through now. Amelia Search is through too. One more round of applause for these women out here, please. That is an incredible 2 days of 8 events.
You know, Das, as we get older, it's a time when we kind of reduce our friendship groups back to the people that I guess have a lot of meaning and bring us joy. And that brings me to decluttering. Decluttering your friends and decluttering your life. Remember during the pandemic, was that this great time of cleanup as we all went through our houses and got rid of all the stuff we didn't want?
Well, Jack, you're going to love this one. It's called the Swedish Death Cleanse, and it might sound a little bit morbid, but it's also got some positivity attached to it. It's all about purging your life of the stuff that you don't want before you die, so your loved ones don't have to do it when you're gone.
Actually, I think that's a really kind thing to do for your relatives, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah, they say in life the material things you should have in your home should be of 2 purposes, those that are useful and those that bring you joy, and I kind of like that as well.
And speaking of bringing us joy, here's Luke Hines with a high-energy workout that also brings the beat.
I know what you're wondering. Is this a metaphor? Is Luke climbing the corporate ladder? Or is he taking the stairs instead of the lift simply to get fit? You know, it's a thing these days. Take the harder option and walk. Well, whilst I might be stepping my way to fitness by taking these off the stairs, I can go one better. So lace up your sneakers and come with me as we elevate your workout routine 1 step at a time.
All right, so let's go over our basic movements. First thing that we're going to do, right basic, left basic. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Starting with the right foot, we're walking up and down the step. 3, 2, 1, walking up and down.
Now, you're not just known for, I guess, your iconic name, but also for what you do, which is Xtreme Hip-Hop step. What is that?
So it's an old school aerobic step class fused with hip-hop music. So we slow it down. So aerobic steps back in the day was a little bit quick up tempo. get a good sweat was a little quick. So we infused the hip-hop, which is music that we love, slowed it down, made the moves a little bit easier on the knees, and then, you know, we just fused it in and made extreme hip-hop step. Next movement we're going to do is tap, tap, pull. Left foot taps the middle of the board, right foot taps the middle of the board.
I was going to say, you're talking to me about slowing it down, but you've added the word extreme. What element makes it extreme?
The energy that comes into the room when you do an extreme hip-hop class is why it's extreme. My mother taught me, love conquers all. So obviously I can't bring that into the class. So my thing is energy conquers all. You may come in with your negative energy, but I'm confident enough that with my super big energy, I'm gonna bring it to you and then it'll just flutter away. Let's go. Nice and easy. Crunch it down and give me 4, 3, 2, switch it. 4 more. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, switch it.
Now, your energy is not only contagious in person, but you've got a following on socials as well. Do you love spreading this far and wide?
Love it. I'm always on socials, just telling stories. My catchphrase is, what's goody Burn City? And then I'll get into what I say. Because that's everything I needed to. Me being the guy that I am, it may be a little bit intimidating when you first come to class. So I'll jump on socials and introduce myself, let everyone know who I am, so that when they come to class, yes, oh, he's the funny guy. 2, tap, tap, pull, tap, left. Let's work. 3, 2, switch it.
You've got the hashtag, Men Step 2.
Men Step 2.
How important is it that guys feel comfortable doing this?
So important. Like, it's a narrative that stepping is only for women. Now, the creator, he's a man. He did have in mind for the men to have a go at it, which is why they try to involve hip-hop into it. And so when the guys see it, they're like, no, I don't know. It's not until they actually start it, they hear the music, they see the moves, nice and simple, and they see everyone having a good time. Mental health wasn't a big thing back in the day for me when I was younger. These days, it's so important to be able to let everyone know it's okay, it's all good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, body hard, 2.
I've heard that one of the taglines you use in classes is make step great again, let's save lives. What do you mean by that?
So really important that we create an awesome environment for everybody to be feeling inclusive, feeling accomplished and just loved really. So for us, when we make step great again, when we say make step great again, it's because back in the 80s and 90s, everyone was doing it. It was a buzz. And you know, our parents were going around in their leg warmers, in their fluoro colors and having a good time. We want them to feel that they're gonna be in a safe space to enjoy themselves. And that's why we make step great again. And relax. Love your work, love your work, love your work.
I am a big believer in energy, whether it's the energy that we bring to the table each and every day or the energy we walk into a particular room or setting. Now, when I walked into this group fitness class today, I felt nothing but positive energy emanating off the walls and ceilings. I wasn't quite sure how I would go with a step class. I'm not the most coordinated, but what I love about this is that it didn't matter. You don't have to be super coordinated. You just have to give it everything you've got. You have to give it positive energy. And what's fantastic is that it's so much more than a fitness class. It's about connection, it's about community, and you couldn't help but feel soul and heart in this room today. So if you're sitting there feeling a little bit lethargic and not sure how to move your body next, perhaps you need to step and give it a go.
Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia, a degenerative condition whereby neural connections in the brain are damaged due to a build-up of toxic proteins amyloid and tau. This results in impaired memory and cognitive decline. An early stage of Alzheimer's disease is called mild cognitive impairment, a condition affecting an estimated 500,000 Australians. While the cause is unknown, the likelihood of developing Alzheimer's disease increases with age, but it's not a normal part of the ageing process. You should always consult with your doctor if you are concerned about any symptoms, such as more serious and more frequent forgetting of names or places. Backed by 20 years of research, Suvinade is a medical drink that nutritionally supports memory function in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease, including mild cognitive impairment. It's been proven to slow memory and cognitive decline by an average of 60% in early Alzheimer's disease when taken daily for 3 years. Suvinade contains a unique combination of nutrients including DHA, EPA, B vitamins and antioxidants, formulated to support the growth of brain connections. Unfortunately, there's no cure for Alzheimer's disease, but awareness, early diagnosis, and lifestyle factors such as the right nutrition are important to help maintain our quality of life for as long as possible.
Jo, you and I have both got young daughters, and I think everyone has seen firsthand the impact social media can have on self-esteem and body image.
Yeah, absolutely. The Butterfly Foundation reports a staggering 90% of young people have concerns about their body image. And the impact of that, Jack, is just so far-reaching, from stopping kids playing sport to going to the beach to even feeling confident enough to put their hand up in class.
I think all we want is for our kids to be happy and healthy, and I think the debate to ban social media for those under the age of 14, it's definitely one worth having.
Well, one of the things I think you realise as you get older, one of the best things about that is that you become more comfortable with who you are and in your own skin. And you learn that sometimes when it comes to makeup, less is more.
We should most definitely change our makeup as we age. I think we need to understand we have fine lines. We use SPF every single day now. And it doesn't mean you can't do the same makeup. You just may add a little more colour. So a little more colour in the cheek. I think about a beautiful even skin tone. And our lips often lose pigment as we age. So creating that colour back in the lip. So just simple little tweaks will change your makeup in a positive way.
Hi, Leanne. So we're going to be talking all things makeup today. You look amazing, by the way. And a little birdie told me that you're over 50.
Correct.
Wow. I hope that I can age as beautifully as you.
Thanks.
Tell me, how do you typically apply your makeup before you're out the door?
Well, Jade, it's usually a very quick application of foundation, very light foundation, quick bit of mascara and gloss on my lips.
And okay, so today, half your makeup is going to be how you do it, and the other half is going to be how I would do your makeup. So typically, I'm guessing you apply your mascara like this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and how many coats do you typically put?
One.
Oh, one, okay. Yep, we'll leave the one.
Okay.
On this side, so I'm going to turn the mascara wand this way.
Okay.
And what it does is separates every lash. It's just about enhancing your beauty, not masking it, not changing who you are or what you look like, always wanting to make our features stand out and not getting into that makeup rut. So now this is how you would particularly do your own eye makeup day in, day out. And on this side is how I would advise you to do your eye makeup. So typically when people apply eyeliner, they would go across the whole eye like this. When you start to get more mature, say 45 plus, the key is to apply it just to the ends here. What that does is instantly, this triangle here will lift the area. I think the best style that really sits really well on your face would have to be cream. So cream blushes, cream foundations. What they are devised to do is basically go on like a cream and then set almost in between a cream and a powder. So that's my little hint for looking fresh, hydrated, even if your skin isn't. So I know blush is also something that a lot of people don't tend to apply, but how I like to apply it, the top part of the cheek and back in, what it does is it'll just lift you and give you a little colour. So lips is simple. We're just going to draw a little bit of liner. Can be to the whole lip, you can do the outside lip. I'm just going to do half. So as you can see here, I'm overdrawing the Cupid's bow, the outer part of your lip, and I'm using a darker shade. What this does is creates the illusion that you have larger lips and also keeps your lips up with the makeup trends that are current right now. We are finished. What are your views?
I think it's incredible. The difference is amazing. I just feel like I was a bit washed away, and now it's lifted my face entirely.
It has. So are you ready to do this at home yourself?
I am. Thank you so much for the tips.
Thank goodness we have moved past that whole stage of everyone wanting to look like they're 21 forever. We can look good and feel good at any age. That's a great thing, and I'm here for that journey.
The arrival of winter prompts me to think about one thing: health. That is, staying healthy, avoiding catching a cold or getting the flu, and what I can do to fend off sickness. Bioceuticals Armour Force Daily Protect is an immune champion, supporting the immune system to fight illness and help stimulate a healthy immune system response all year round. With support top of mind, the comprehensive formula contains vitamin C and vitamin D, as well as zinc and selenium to support healthy immune system function. Plus, scientifically studied Wellmune to assist in reducing the duration of the common cold. Simply take 2 tablets once a day, all year round, to support your immune system. There are many wonderful things about winter. Cooking a hearty meal, curling up with a book, and a bit of forward thinking when it comes to your health means you have a better chance of enjoying all this winter has to offer.
Dr. Nick, it is celebrations in our house with the arrival of 2 new fur babies, these 2 Siamese beauties that have come to us via Pet Rescue, Jade and Ruby. We are so in love.
You're so lucky. I absolutely love Siamese cats. We used to have them when I was a kid. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, they are beautiful. And don't you think that we all would like our pets to be with us for as long as possible? And so must this Japanese scientist who has developed a treatment that could prolong the life of cats to up to 30.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Because the average age a pet cat lives is to 13 or 15 years, so double that expectancy is amazing. And this breakthrough injection, it targets chronic kidney disease in cats, which is a major killer of older pussies.
Well, our last cat lived to 19, but even so, we were absolutely devastated when we lost her. So I love that this scientist has dedicated his life to this treatment, in due partly to his love of cats, but also donations from millions of cat lovers around the world. And the injection is expected to be commercially available from around sometime next year.
Well, from cats to humans, and the best way to keep the human kidney healthy is to eat lots of beans, including, you guessed it, the kidney bean.
The pinnacle of winter eating is soup. It's like a warm, cosy blanket for your insides. And my spicy capsicum and tomato soup takes this staple to the next level. You'll need a large saucepan, perfect for sharing or saving for a rainy day. Start by giving the onion, garlic and celery a sauté, releasing flavour while retaining nutrients. Red capsicum adds a sweet taste, the strongest of all the capsicum colours. It also gives a boost of vitamin C. Once the mix is nice and soft, everything else can go in. Vegetable stock for a soupy consistency, and tomato and kidney beans for more subtle, sweet flavours. Offsetting it all, coriander and the freshness of mint. Simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, and now it's on to the dressing. Take it or leave it, but this is where the spiciness comes in. Lemon juice, garlic and harissa, or swap for fresh chilli. Shake for a power pack of heat and zest. Back to the soup. If hearty and chunky is your thing, it's good to go. But I like mine a little bit smoother. Serve with a drizzle of dressing. What I love about this recipe is you can make it your own. Switch up the herbs, add some extra veggies, and tailor the dressing to the spice you can handle. But for me, that is just perfect. Get Nourished is brought to you by Swiss Wellness. Support healthy immune system health and function with Swiss UltiBoost High Strength Vitamin C.
still can't believe we're at the halfway mark of the year already. I don't know about you, Nick, but I feel like as I'm getting older, time is speeding up big time. I'm trying to get it to slow down a bit at the moment.
Well, funny enough, Darcy, there's a growing body of research that shows that you actually can, not so much slow it down, but the perception in what's called time dilation. And one way to do this is to open yourself up to a sense of wonder or awe.
So how do we get more awe in our life? Well, it's about noticing the small things, isn't it? So maybe the smell of dinner cooking at home or the birds singing outside.
Yeah, and opening yourself up to awe doesn't just make time feel like it's going slower, but the experience of awe or wonder actually brings health benefits like less stress and better mood.
I absolutely love this. It's mindfulness, really, which is my daily practice. And another tip is to ditch the device and go analog. Savour the moment so that you are actually living it as it's happening rather than filming it, taking a photo of it, and then seeing it through a screen. That doesn't make sense.
And finally, awe, and the key to living happily is also by making yourself do something new, putting the brain out of its comfort zone and learning something which you've never done before. It works so well for pretty much everything in health.
And you know what, Nick? You are so committed to that. I find that awe-inspiring.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure today. As always, thanks to Joe, to Jack and to Dr. Nick Carr.
Check out House of Wellness Radio every Sunday with Gerald Quigley and Luke Hines.
And our Winter Gloss magazine with Costine Hutzi on the cover.
And let's embrace Men's Health Week by getting the blokes down there for a check-in and a tune-up.
Thanks as always to our great friends at Chemist Warehouse. It's bye for now.